Hey guys, it's Alex here. Oops. We haven't uploaded an episode in over a year. There's just been a lot going on in our lives, in my life in particular. I graduated college, I had a child. There's just a lot of things going on. But needless to say, Kevin and I have been playing Final Fantasy games, even while we haven't been uploading episodes. So there might be a deluge of new episodes coming out within the following weeks. Just depends on how quick I can edit them. But we did record a couple episodes, I think 3 episodes, like a year ago. Like it's been like 6 months since we recorded these or something like that. So apologies if like the news segment is out of it's just going to be way irrelevant. It's going to be way irrelevant. You're just going to have to deal with that. Eventually we will catch up. But for now, please enjoy us from like 6 months ago or something. It might have even been like a year ago. I think we recorded this. The next couple episodes will also be the same. So anyway, thanks. Bye. I mean, listen to it, not bye. Don't leave. But me now, I am saying bye to you, and then you're going to listen to the rest of the episode. Does that make sense? Okay. Welcome to Infinite Fantasy, the show where we're going through every piece of Final Fantasy media and ranking them based on how much we think they define Final Fantasy as a franchise. I'm Alex.
I'm Kevin.
And we have Adela here with us. You remember from our Legend of the Crystals episode.
Yes.
Hello.
You remember Legend of the Crystals?
Barely.
Okay.
That was a while ago.
Classic, my favorite anime.
Yeah, of course. So today we're here to talk about the Chocobo Collection, a collection of 3 games. We're doing 3 games today.
Nice.
We're going back to the old school Infinite Fantasy
I know.
stuff where we do multiple games in an episode.
That was crazy. I can't believe we did that.
I know, 5 games in one episode. We did. I think the first episode has like the first 3 Final Fantasy games,
Yeah.
like mainline Final Fantasy games or something.
I think if we kept doing that, we'd probably still only be on like the 4th episode
Yeah.
or 5th episode or something.
Wild. Anyway, before we get to the actual games, though, we're going to talk about Final Fantasy news.
Oh, yeah.
Yay!
Yay.
News. It's been like a little bit since we recorded the Final Fantasy VIII podcast.
Mhm.
So there's been some news. Final Fantasy 16 won a bunch of awards at a bunch of different award shows.
Oh yeah, nice.
It got Best Audio and Best Performer for the main character at the Golden Joystick Awards. I don't know what that is,
Yeah.
but they did it. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, or is that what it's called? Rebirth? Hold on 1 second.
Is that the remake of it?
Yeah, the second one.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Rebirth got most anticipated game, or no,
Wow.
most wanted game at the
Okay.
Golden Joystick Awards. It was the 10th anniversary of Final Fantasy 13-3, Lightning Returns.
Wow.
So that's crazy that's 10 years old.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Is that like the 3rd remake?
The 3rd game of Final Fantasy 13.
Yeah.
So there's
So like
13,
And then there's 13-2.
and then there's Lightning Returns 13-3.
Yep.
but they're different games.
They're different
Yeah.
games,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Then we got a Final Fantasy trading card game released, the Beyond Destiny set, which we've been playing a little bit. We actually
Yeah.
started playing the Final Fantasy card game.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's very good. We'll do a episode on it at some point once we get to it on the list. There was, I'll show it on the screen, I guess. I wrote all this down forever ago. I don't remember what they look like. They announced a Final Fantasy glass and coaster set for
Oh,
pre-order. You
wow.
can get like whiskey glasses and coasters.
Nice.
That seems cool. Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, is that what it's called?
I think so.
Is discontinuing in
yes.
February. It's a mobile game.
What a shame.
Gotta-
Yeah, it's such a shame. I played a little bit of it just to see before it goes down.
Mhm.
It seems fun. It's just like a gotcha game, a
Oh,
gachapon game where you're fighting with Final Fantasy characters. I don't know. Seems cool, but
yeah.
guess not enough people played it, so it's going down.
I think gotcha stuff is like going out of style lately.
Yeah.
Like I think they're getting rid of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 16 again wins the Grand Award and the User's Choice Award at PlayStation Partners.
Ah.
I think it's like
Yeah.
a shareholder
Okay.
award show or something for PlayStation.
The
I
Grand
don't know.
Award.
Final Fantasy, going back to the card game, had their World Tournament or World
Oh.
Cup recently, and the winner was Alex Hancock's from the UK.
Oh.
Congrats.
Yes, congrats. And he won with a
Congratulations.
Chocobo themed deck,
Oh,
so that's kind of
nice.
fun. I watched some of that, and that was before I got into the card game, so I was like, I don't know what's going on, but
Yeah.
he's doing something over there. He's cooking. They announced in February Sora is going to get an amiibo. They're going to get a Sora
Oh.
amiibo.
Yeah,
I
for
didn't
Smash
know-
Bros.
I didn't know they still made amiibo,
I didn't either.
but Sora's going to have one.
Yeah, that's good.
And then on January 9th, Apex Legends started the crossover with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So there's
Mhm.
some stuff in Apex Legends. You can get like skins and stuff. I've been playing a little bit of that to get those skins
Mhm.
and whatnot. They're very expensive though, so I'm not gonna get all
Oh,
of them,
yeah.
but I got some stuff. There was a new Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer at the Game Awards.
Oh.
And then Final Fantasy VII also won. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth
Hmm.
also won Most Anticipated Game at the Game Awards.
Mhm.
Final Fantasy 16 won Best Score at the Game Awards. And then it also is getting some DLC. They announced, I guess.
Oh, nice.
So there we go. It's the 35th anniversary of Final Fantasy II.
Woo!
That's wild. It's so old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
15th anniversary of Dissidia Final Fantasy. Not the
Ooh.
app, but it's a different thing called Dissidia
I think
Final
that's like the
Fantasy.
fighting game or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know anything about it. So, Final Fantasy 14 Fan Fest happened in Tokyo.
We
Mm.
missed Fan Fest?
I know, we missed Fan
missed
Fest.
it in
There was one in the
Tokyo.
UK recently, too.
We should have gone.
Yeah,
Should've
we gotta
gone.
go.
And then the last bit of news is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth got, again, most anticipated game just from PlayStation. Just like PlayStation gave it.
Oh,
that.
okay. Yeah.
So is that out?
No.
Okay.
It's most anticipated.
Yeah.
Of course it's not out. It comes out, actually, it comes out pretty soon. It comes out in February, I think.
But we are anticipating it.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
highly anticipated, as
I'm
says
anticipated.
the Golden Joysticks and the Sony shareholders or
Yep.
whatever. But anyway, that's all the news. It's a bunch of I just said a bunch of random stuff to you, so sorry about that. Announced a bunch of anniversaries and awards, but it's a new year.
Yep.
So they had to give it a bunch of awards. They had to give out all the awards to Final Fantasy.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you
It's
just
the law.
it's illegal if you don't. But that's the news. And we're going to go now to the games.
Oh, yeah.
Hooray.
Woo.
Yay.
We all sat down and played these games together.
Mhm.
They're great. Most of them, I think.
Yeah.
Most of them.
But
Actually, maybe I don't know if I should say great. But
3 out of 3. I don't know. No, wait. How many games did we
3
play?
games.
we played 3.
Okay.
So let's talk. I guess let's go game by game. So we're still gonna rank them separately, but they
Mhm.
were all in Japan released as in like a pack called the Chocobo Collection.
Mhm.
Only one of them was ever released in America, so we'll talk about that one first. Chocobo Racing, is
Yep.
that all it's called? Just
I
Chocobo
think-
Racing?
I think so.
It's a racing game with Chocobo.
Yep.
It's fun. I thought it was really fun.
I thought it was really fun too.
It was hard.
Oh yeah, it was very
Mhm.
hard. Like it had it's very similar to Mario Kart.
Mhm.
You have like power ups and stuff that you're getting, but you also can get so the power ups are magic, I think they called
Yeah.
it, or spells or something. But what happened is you could get like a fire spell pickup, and then if you get another fire, it upgrades your fire to like Fyra, or is that what it is? Fyra?
Yeah.
Oh my god. It's been so long since we played a game that had like that magic system.
For
but-
real.
and then if you get another one, you get Fyraga, so it like levels up your magic the more you stack on there, and they do different things.
Mhm.
Like the Blizzard one, the first one would just like shoot a Blizzard thing in front of you. Then Blizzaga or Blizzara would do like a little area, make it all icy, I
Mhm.
think. And then Blizzaga would freeze all opponents for like a couple seconds, and then you can zoom ahead
Mhm.
in
And
the game.
there were also some items that were like you take other people's items and you can like take their items if you bump into the back of them or something
Yeah.
like that.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
I think the game was fun, and seems like it's in the same universe as the Chocobo Dungeon games
Yeah.
we've played, because it has the same art style and the same character designs.
Mhm.
You have, I think Sid was in that. Oh, it was like a storybook. That's what the story
Yeah.
was like.
It
You
was
had-
Sid and the Chocobo, and I forget what like the white mage lady's name is.
Sharoma
Yeah.
or something, but I think in this game she was just called White Mage.
Mhm.
She didn't have a name or anything. But yeah, it takes place in the same universe as those games, which, as we've established previously, is the Final Fantasy VI universe. Except in this game, there's a secret racer that you can
Yeah,
unlock by
that's
beating
true.
the game twice, which we did.
Yep.
Which you can unlock Squall as a racer.
And you unlock like I think it's like the area that the parade is happening in the 8th game.
Yeah, wherever that town was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like a racetrack that you get. So Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy VIII crossing over
Yeah.
in the Chocobo universe, I guess. But what did you guys think about the game?
I thought it was really good. I thought like the controls, at least for a racing game, like I was worried about like going into it.
Mhm.
But I thought that it controlled well. It was definitely a little hard though.
Too many 90-degree angles for a racing game.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of like drifting that you had to do.
Yeah.
Especially the last couple like courses, there were so many like super tight turns that you would just constantly be running into the walls or even just falling off.
Yeah, there's the summons level. That's like one of the last levels where you're
Mhm.
driving past all the different summons and stuff. And that one had like no guardrails at all,
Yeah.
and you're just flying off constantly. That was terrible. That was a bad time.
Mhm.
But it's fun. It wasn't like, I can forgive the courses for being so hard because the gameplay was like well made.
Yeah.
I think if the game was like also poorly made and the courses were hard, that would be really rough.
Mhm.
But I liked it. And then we did like races together too. There's like a 2-player mode. That was
Yep.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
I liked racing you guys.
Yeah.
I like the first level.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
the
a
easy
good
just like
level, yeah.
Chocobo
One
circuit.
circle.
That's like a
normal
circle.
race.
Yeah.
But,
I think it was good, but like story wise, there's just not much with these ones.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I guess there isn't much they could have done because it's just like racing.
Mhm.
But like it was just kind of like I guess it was like we need a crystal or something. Like let's go to the next area and then race
Yeah.
this next person.
But
And
it
then-
turns out the crystals were the friends we made along the way.
Exactly.
It was inside of us all along.
Because you would race somebody and then they would be friendly to you after that.
Yeah.
They would be a villain, and then you beat them in the race, and they say like, "Oh, we'll join you then. I'll help you out
Mhm.
finding the crystal or whatever you're doing."
And that's a similar theme with all of these games.
Yes, yeah, because all the games have kind of the same stuff going on.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to say about Chocobo Racing though?
I feel like that's
we
it
covered
really.
everything, I think.
Wasn't there like a system where you could like put points into your racer?
Oh yeah,
Like
after
you could
beat
kind
the
of make your
game.
own racer,
yeah.
something like that.
It was like a custom fat chocobo, wasn't it? No, it was
Yeah.
a dragon. What was it?
I think you could choose whatever.
Oh, okay.
Or no, maybe it was like dragon.
There was like one that was really colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like that, and you could customize like the specific stats on your racer and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
But that unlocked like after you beat the game, and then
Mhm.
you could play with your custom racer in like free play and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Interesting game, I'd say.
Yeah,
How many chocobos would you rate it?
I rate it 4 out of 5 chocobos.
I was thinking the same rating.
nice,
I'll go with
but
that.
let's actually rank it on our list.
Yeah.
So we'll start with most enjoyable.
Mhm.
How enjoyable was this game? Pretty enjoyable,
Yeah.
I'd say.
I thought it was enjoyable.
It was easy breezy. We like I said, we had to play the game again
Hmm.
to unlock Squall, and we did it all, and we beat the game twice in one day.
Yeah.
So nice speedy game,
Yep.
I'd say. That's nice. So where should we start with this? It's not better than any of the mainline Final Fantasies, right?
I don't think so. I would say it's at least past the Legend games. I think most
Yeah.
things past the Legend games
Yeah.
pretty easily.
What about Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon?
Oh man.
I think it's probably better than that one.
Yeah, I think the second dungeon game was definitely a lot better than the first one.
Yeah. Is this better than the Final Fantasy II novel? Probably.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't even
We
read
couldn't-
it. So,
yeah, and we couldn't
that's on
finish
us,
all of it.
But still,
That's true.
I'd say it's better.
Yeah.
What about here we go. We can all have an opinion on this one. Is it better than Legend of the Crystals?
It's been a while. Probably.
Yeah. I would say it's better.
Yeah, I think I agree on that. So then we'll move on up. Mystic Quest?
Ooh. I really liked Mystic Quest.
Yeah.
That one was fun.
I don't know. I think maybe that's where we put it.
Yeah.
Is right below Mystic Quest.
I think that's a good spot.
All right, so Chocobo Racing is now our new number 13 most enjoyable Final Fantasy thing.
Out of.
This will be our 19th so far.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Making
not bad.
Making a dent.
Yeah, but now we'll go to most Final Fantasy. How Final Fantasy is this? It's got to be at least close to Chocobo's Dungeon 2 because it's the same like story.
Yeah.
But I guess it's got to be lower because
there's really
it's
nothing.
racing.
Yeah, like there's really like nothing besides the characters and the like setting that really makes it Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And one of the characters didn't even have the actual name, right? Like White Mage?
Oh yeah, White Mage.
Yeah, just White Mage.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I guess so. We'll put it. Okay, let's see. Most Final Fantasy. It's definitely less Final Fantasy than like Legend of the Crystals. I think that one more represents Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Is it more Final Fantasy than the first Final Fantasy game?
I feel like it could. I mean, it even has
Maybe.
Sid.
Yeah.
Like the first game doesn't even have Sid.
Yeah, that's true.
And
did the first one have Chocobos? I don't even.
I don't think
did.
so. No, I think the second game was the first one, or the second or the third one were the first to have Chocobo.
Maybe we're wrong. Maybe it's been too long, but I don't think so.
But it definitely doesn't have Sid in the
I
first
know.
one.
So I guess it's above Final Fantasy. What about Final Fantasy 2 though?
Now I think that might be cutting it close.
Yeah.
Like this game does have Final Fantasy stuff, but it's like not all in on the Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like
it's just a racing game with Final Fantasy characters.
Yeah.
It's just Mario Kart with a slight story about crystals or whatever. So yeah, I think we'll put this one. Chocobo Racing is our new number 11 most Final Fantasy thing that we. I don't know how to name this.
Yeah.
I think Final Fantasy game, but
we have
more
more
than games
yeah.
on here. So Final Fantasy Media.
Yep.
I guess. Anyway, that's Chocobo Racing.
Oh yes.
Now let's move on to the next game, Dice de Chocobo.
Oh yeah.
We played this. So I couldn't find a fan translation of this game, but I did find a fan translation of Chocobo Land, a game of dice, which is a remake of this game for the Game Boy Advance. So we played the Game Boy Advance version, not the PlayStation version, but it's the same thing, as far as I could tell. This is, if you've ever played like Fortune Street or the command board in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, or it's pretty similar to like Monopoly too in some ways. It's a board game. You're rolling dice. You're buying properties. You're investing in your properties, and people land on yours. They have to pay you money. And you just go around the board doing that forever until someone gets more points than the other.
Yep.
The story, basically the same as Chocobo Racing.
Yeah, it really was like the same, but instead of like, you need my crystal, let's race, it's like, you need my crystal, let's play Monopoly. Like,
so, what I guess there's a little more story in this one because they fall into some like portal at the beginning. Like Chocobo, Mog, there's a white mage that's
and,
there, a black mage, I think.
What's like the green?
Carbuncle.
Yeah, Carbuncle's there too.
And then there's Chip, the hamster. And so they all fall into some black hole or portal or something that brings them to a different world.
Yeah.
And this world, unlike the Final Fantasy world they came from, is obsessed with crystals.
Yes.
It's crazy. Who would have thought?
Everyone has a crystal.
Everyone's got a crystal, and the crystals are causing them to go crazy nuts.
Yep.
And they're angry, and the way they take out their anger is they play Monopoly.
Yes.
So you just go to an area, you meet a new character, they're mad at you, you play Monopoly, and then they're like, "Wow, I'm so sorry, I was so mad at you. I guess it was the crystal that was making me go completely nutso."
Yep. Now let me play more Monopoly with you
but I'm on
against
your
the
side
others.
now. So you would play against these characters, and it was just like enemies from Final Fantasy. So there was a Marlboro that you meet at some point.
There's like a Sahagin.
Yeah, Sahagin. There's goblins.
Mhm.
Eventually there was a Tonberry.
Oh yeah, and I think like one of the last ones was like a behemoth or something.
Yeah. So you're meeting all these characters. They all have their fun little characterizations, their little jokes that they do and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's basically the whole game. Is you're going around the map, meeting new characters, beating them at Monopoly, and then saving them or whatever.
Mhm.
And there's a mother crystal or something
Yeah.
in a volcano that
It's
you.
dirty.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yes,
what
it was
that's right.
dirty.
It was dirty, and it was like using its crystal powers to call someone to come clean it.
Yeah.
And so that's what was causing everyone to go crazy. Was the crystal wanted someone to clean it.
Yeah.
Had a little mud on it.
And then
Yeah.
we just wiped it off, and it
And
got all
boom.
clean,
You're out of here.
and everyone's saved.
So this game was fun, but it definitely is the reason it took us so long to play these games
Yeah.
because it's very long. I mean, just think about having to play like 10 games of Monopoly in a row, full games of Monopoly in a row.
Each time you
The
beat
board
a
got
game,
bigger.
the board gets bigger, and the amount of money you need gets bigger.
Yeah, and more players get added.
Yes.
Because in the first few maps, there's only one NPC that you're playing against, and then it gets to the point where you're playing like a full 4-player game
Yeah.
of Monopoly.
It even tells you, like, before you play a match, like, how long they think it'll take, and I'm pretty sure every single one said at least 2 hours.
Yeah, there was like a couple at the beginning that were like around an hour.
But
And like that's where it starts.
yeah.
Is around an hour.
But it ended at around 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's
so-
true. Yeah, it didn't really get too crazy, I guess. But we also found out after you beat the game, there's an extra map where you can play against. I think it was the Omega weapon. There was like or the old like Omega weapon from like one of the old games that's just like a weird robot.
Yeah.
And then I think like Bahamut or something, or Leviathan. I forget which
Yeah,
summon it
something
is.
like that.
You get to play against them. There's no story there. You just do that, and then it unlocks like an endless mode, basically, where there's like 100 new maps that you can unlock. So we did not do that
Yeah,
because we
no.
were done playing that game at that point.
Maybe we'll do infinite Monopoly.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll
Play
get back
every
to that.
every type of Monopoly that's ever been
Yeah. Gotta do it.
Gotta. But I think that's all there is to say about Dice de Chocobo, Chocobo Land, a game of dice. It was fun. I don't think you have to, if you listening at home want to play this game, just play it. I don't think you have to play through the whole story
Yeah.
because it took so long and it's repetitive. It's just Monopoly over and over again. It's just Fortune Street over and over again.
Even if you don't know anything about Final Fantasy, like, you don't gotta know anything to play this one.
Oh, I guess one other thing we didn't mention is there's magic in the game. You get Magicite. So what you're doing is you're buying properties with allies. You get ally crystals that you put down on the map, and certain allies have certain abilities. Like Carbuncle would like block attacks if you're standing on Carbuncle, or
Frog.
Oh yeah,
the
frog.
Sahagin. That was what I wanted to get to was Magicite is the magic you get in the game. You can cast spells on your opponents to make it harder for them to do stuff. And the one that we used all the time that won us many games was I guess it was the Toad Magicite that casts the Toad status on enemies, which made it so they couldn't buy properties or buy crystals or do
use
anything.
magic. Yeah, anything for 3 turns, I think.
Yeah, for 3 turns. And then Sahagin was something you could place on the board that would get a chance to extend their frog status if they land on it. So you just frog your opponent, and you keep them frogged as long as possible.
And then you buy everything while they can't do anything.
Yeah. So that was fun. That's a fun strategy.
Yeah.
That's something Monopoly doesn't have.
No frogs.
Yeah, no frogs in Monopoly.
No frog. Oh, well, maybe there's like a frog Monopoly.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah, not
That's
the same.
true. Yeah.
I can't
Is there
frog you.
Is there a frog
Frogopoly.
frog cartoon that maybe a Monopoly was
Maybe.
based on? I don't know. That's something.
Like Battletoads Monopoly.
I don't think there's a Battletoads Monopoly, but maybe. Yeah, what? I feel like Frog's gotta have a cartoon, right?
Yeah, no
There
frog
ain't no
cartoon.
Frog cartoon?
I don't know why
Or-
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles popped in my head, but that's not Frog.
That's not Frog.
Almost.
I was like the Muppets, but that's just Kermit.
That's just Kermit. Well, maybe there is a Muppets Monopoly. Muppopoly.
Monopoly.
I mean, they got all these like specific cities and like state monopolies. Like they
Yeah.
gotta have Muppet Monopoly.
They even have SpongeBob Meme Monopoly. Have you seen
What?
this?
No.
It's
Never seen SpongeBob Memopoly?
Memopoly. It's a SpongeBob Monopoly, but it's not just SpongeBob. It's SpongeBob memes that are the board spaces.
Not my SpongeBob Monopoly. I had the OG.
Oh yeah, of course. We also had that NFL Monopoly, a
Yep.
classic.
It's all about Yu-Gi-Oh! Monopoly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my favorite was Shrek Operation.
Oh.
that one, I remember playing that a lot.
That's the way to go.
There's no Frogopoly.
There's no Frogopoly.
Wow.
Well, let's
No
get on it.
Frogopoly.
We're gonna
Yeah,
make
we gotta make it.
I got that My Monopoly that I bought in Ireland. We'll just make
Oh,
that
make it
frog.
My Frog Monopoly.
My Frog Monopoly. Well, that's Dice de Chocobo, or Chocobo Land, a game of dice.
Mhm.
What do we get? How many dice are we giving this? How many frogs?
I'm
out of
giving
10?
it 5 frogs.
Five
Five
frogs. Oh
frogs,
my
wow.
god! Wow, a high score.
I was entertaining.
I'll
Yeah.
give it 5 frogs and I'll give it 3 dice.
Ooh,
Oh.
I'm gonna go 5 frogs and something else that's funny.
Nailed it.
I killed it. I'm so good at this.
0 cleaned crystals.
Yes, 5 dirty crystals. 5. It's like the song. 12 Days of Christmas.
Yes. 5
5
dirty crystals.
Oh, we can make that. That'd be
Final Fantasy.
bad.
Final
would-
Fantasy
that would-
12 Days of Christmas.
That'd be horrible.
And you have
to
to
hear.
sing the whole thing.
Yeah, it would go so viral.
Yes, it would.
Gonna break the internet.
Anyway, Dice to Chocobo, where are we ranking it on most enjoyable of them all?
Now, this is a hard one, I think.
Yeah,
Because I did enjoy it, but
it got really old at
Yeah.
a certain point.
Like-
Well, I don't know. I kind of came around to it. It's so repetitive.
yeah.
But it's fun. It's a fun game.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. But, like, I don't even know if I would get it past all of the Legend ones.
Yeah.
Like, I think I could say it's better than, like, the first Legend one. Or I don't really know how we have them
it's
ranked.
Better than the Legend. I think it's better than most of the Legend games, at least.
Mhm.
Or all of them, probably. Is it better than Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon?
I don't know. I feel like I would say no to that.
Yeah.
Like, I would definitely want to play this more than like say I would go to play one game of the Dice de Chocobo.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say after one game I'm done.
Yeah, or maybe 2 if I have the time.
Yeah, like I feel like I can play the Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon a lot more than playing that, and like even those games are a little repetitive, but like I
Yeah.
feel like they feel less repetitive because you're like actively playing the game instead of waiting for turns.
That's true. So yeah, I think that's fair. I think we'll put it below Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon then.
Mhm.
So Chocobo Dice de Chocobo is the new number 17 most enjoyable piece of Final Fantasy media.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a harsh rating for something you just gave 5 frogs and 3 dice.
It's fun, but it's not to play the
It's
whole
not
game.
not
it's
all
like,
day fun.
Yeah, it's
It's like Monopoly. It's fun for the first half, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Exactly, but then the game keeps going.
Yeah.
Because you got to get 30,000 points.
Yep.
So
Oh, man.
number 17 out of 20 at the moment. But most Final Fantasy, I think this will be kind of high.
Yeah.
It was pretty Final Fantasy. Crystals, that's
Crystals,
huge.
Magicite too.
Yeah, Magicite. There's summons.
Yep.
There's all the monsters are there.
Yeah.
Every the iconic monsters. So where is this going?
Number 1.
Number 1. There we go.
Better than
You heard it
6.
here, folks. No. So we're gonna go. I think it's more Final Fantasy than Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon, the first one.
Yeah, I would say so.
Is it more Final Fantasy than Mystic Quest? I think so.
Yeah,
Right?
I would think so. I don't even remember if there were like Chocobos in Mystic Quest.
I don't think so.
Like
I
I feel
don't
like
oh,
there.
maybe there was.
I feel like there wasn't much like Final Fantasy specific stuff in Mystic Quest.
Yeah. Is it above the first Final Fantasy? Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, no, this is where we put it. We put it above the first Final Fantasy, but below Final Fantasy 2. That's where we put Racing.
Yeah.
So I think this one is more Final Fantasy than Racing.
Yeah, I think like just slightly.
But is it more Final Fantasy than Final Fantasy 2? I think so.
Controversial.
Yeah,
Controversial.
It is controversial.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe.
okay, now that I'm thinking about it though, how many times do they play Monopoly in Final Fantasy is the thing.
That's true.
But how many times are they collecting crystals?
That's all the time.
Yeah.
That's
That's
all
all
the
you're
time.
doing.
And
in
that's
this
all they're
game.
doing.
And they're meeting all the villain, like all the
Yeah.
monsters and the summons. I think it's more Final Fantasy than Final Fantasy 2.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Okay.
But I think we have to stop it there, probably.
Well, it's not as Final Fantasy as the Final Fantasy 3 manga.
Ooh.
Man, I don't know.
Were there crystals in that? Probably, actually, there were probably crystals in that.
Yeah, we didn't get all the way to the end reading it.
I
You
thought
didn't
we
read
did.
the whole thing.
Well, because it was all in Japanese, so we just looked at the pictures.
Oh,
we were just
yeah.
kind of interpreting.
You can. There's Google Lens.
Well,
Yeah.
that was before Google Lens was like huge. This was, we've been doing this show for
That's true.
5 years.
Yeah,
or
it might have
This
been.
list isn't in order. I don't know when you did these.
It might
things.
Yeah.
be 6 years now that we've
Yeah.
been doing it.
That's crazy. That's wow.
Time to start over. Now
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah,
read it.
we
You're
got to
right.
go back to the first one.
Well, anyway, above or below the manga adaptation of Final Fantasy 3?
Hmm. I feel like we got to keep it there. I
Keep it
think
there,
I think
yeah.
putting it over 2 is already a little
A
crazy.
little crazy, yeah. All right, so Dice to Chocobo, aka Chocobo Land, a game of dice, is the new number 10 most Final Fantasy piece of Final Fantasy media.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty high.
Out of 20?
That's, yeah.
Out of 20.
Damn.
I know we're getting there. Like, eventually it's gonna be like, and number 50th
Yeah.
most Final Fantasy game.
So the final game here is Chocobo Stallion.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about this game. This game we played it a little bit. We played it for a couple hours. This one also does not have a English translation, and I couldn't find like any English stuff about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was hard to play. We did play with Google Lens, like you said,
Yeah.
just pointing the Google Lens at the screen and hoping that the translation sort of makes sense, which
It did
most
sometimes.
of the time it did, but most of the time it also didn't. But this is a Chocobo. So what is this series again that it's based on?
I think the series is just called Stallion. I remember seeing something that was like Stallion 2, and it looked
Derby Stallion.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is based on Derby Stallion. As far as what I could tell, I was like looking up stuff about Derby Stallion. It looks like this game is basically just a clone of that game.
Yeah.
Almost like they reskinned it with chocobos instead of horses.
Yeah, like even some of the textures and stuff like look straight from those games.
So what you're doing in this game is you got a farm where you get one chocobo at the beginning for free. You get a female chocobo who's there for breeding.
Yep.
Then you use some money. You go hire yourself a stud chocobo.
Oh yeah.
To breed your female chocobo and birth a nice little baby chocobo.
Yes.
And then you hire a trainer
And
once
you train
they're
'em.
3 years old, and you put them to work racing down the track. You can. I saw some videos. I was looking up more about this game after we stopped playing. You can buy a pool for your farm, and you can have the chocobo swim, do swimming. And so there's like a little animation of them swimming. So you can do various training activities with them until they're either 4 or 5. It depends on the time of year.
Oh.
Because different races happen in different times of year. There's an active calendar happening in the game where you can move the calendar forward day by day, or skip like a week, or skip a whole month if you want.
Mm-hmm.
So once the chocobo is about 4 or 5, they can enter into races.
Mm-hmm.
And this plays out basically the same how it plays out in Final Fantasy VII with the chocobo races at the Gold Saucer, where you're not controlling the chocobo, you're just kind of watching the race I think in Final Fantasy VII, and maybe in this game, you could press the button to make them go turbo or something.
Yeah.
But you can also set it to automatically do that at the end of the race.
Is that why we kept losing?
Well,
Were we not going
I
turbo?
think we had
I
it
don't
on auto or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
we better have.
Yeah. But that's basically what the racing is. It's exactly like it is in Final Fantasy VII. And you can bet on the racing. So that's how you make your money in this game. is you bet on the races. You get money, then you can pay to have a stud come and breed a new chocobo, and then you train up your other chocobo, put them in the races, you win money if your chocobo races good, and then that's the whole game, basically. There's not a story at all. As far as I could find, there's not like cutscenes we missed or anything. It's just
We missed the swimming cutscene.
well, that's
Well,
true. You
yeah.
did miss the swimming cutscene where they swim in the pool.
Couldn't buy the pool. I felt like it was charming, but like there just really wasn't much to do. Obviously,
Yeah.
we couldn't really figure everything out because it was in Japanese. But
Yeah.
even like with what we did know, like there still really wasn't much to do. It's like
Yeah.
all we said to do is what you can do. Like
Yeah, you can train, you can race,
you can bet.
you can bet.
That's it.
That's about it, yeah. But it seemed fun. It seemed like if I could read it, if there was like an American or English translation, or even if we could play like a Derby Stallion game, I feel like I would do that. It seemed pretty fun to me, just to like train my little horse, train my little chocobo, and race them out. One thing I found, I was looking up some Japanese guides of the game, and just doing like Google Translate to see if I could find more information. And people recommend, to make a lot of money, you save the game, start a race, note down which racer won the race, and then you just reload the game and bet all your money on that one, and it's just going to be the same one that wins.
That's smart, honestly.
So you could just make a lot of money that way.
If only we could do that in real life.
Exactly. I wish I could go back in time. I wish I could save my state, and go back in time and bet on the horses.
Yes.
But it's a cool, neat little game.
Yeah.
You put them into the races. You can put them into like the Grand Prix. There are 3 of them. After you win the first Grand Prix, you unlock I think it's the Chocobo statue, which doesn't do anything. It's just like a cool statue you can have on your farm. And then if you win all 3, you get the Chocobo monument, which is, again, just a big thing. Doesn't do anything. It's just a cool monument in your farm.
Hey, you did it.
You did it. You beat all the cool races.
Yeah.
You got the best Chocobo round.
Stop playing.
Stop playing,
You're
please.
done.
Yeah, there's not even a cutscene or anything. It's over.
Yep.
Go away. But that's fun. I don't know. What do you guys think about it?
It wasn't my thing, I think. Like I like all the Chocobo games cuz like I think the charm is like the biggest part of them. But like there just wasn't enough like story or enough to like keep me captivated, I think.
Yeah.
Like
I wish there were more cutscenes. There was one
Yeah.
at the beginning that was like intense.
Yeah, it was like the baby Chocobo being born and all that, like hatching.
In like gaining a rivalry with another Chocobo.
Yeah, that
or
was really
whatever.
cool.
So that's fun. But there was also a this game, I think, assumed that you knew more about horse betting
Yeah.
than we did. Because there were like 4 different ways to bet on the horses.
Yeah.
There was single and double, and I don't know. It was so overwhelming.
Yeah.
Especially when we were doing it through Google Lens translation, which was like giving us just nonsense every time we pointed it at the screen.
I wonder like if in the 90s like there was like a big like group of people playing these stallion games and like maybe they were like trying to have some sort of crossover like with Final Fantasy and the Stallion games, like cuz like who is this for? Like who are these games really for?
Like horse people, like the kids who are into horses. Cause
yeah.
It's for creating gambling addictions.
Well,
Yes,
yeah, that's what I
exactly.
thought. Like if your kid likes horses and then you get them this game that's about like horses, then they're just gonna want to bet on the horses. Like
they'll understand the odds. I mean,
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like the sheets that you could pull up that
I
showed
know.
like win percentage and like
Yeah.
odds of payout or whatever. So crazy. But anyway, I liked it. What about you?
I give it 1,000 Island out of a navel cider.
I agree. I give it a Mr. Chocolate out of 5
Yes.
or whatever it was.
The names are great.
Yeah. All the Chocobos get names, the ones in the races, and they're just like randomly generated. And then pointing Google Lens Translate at it is just an added level of like, I don't know what's going on here. It's saying just a bunch of random words at me.
I wish I would have taken more pictures of the names.
But let's rank it, I guess. Unless we have anything else to say about it. I don't think so. It's a pretty simple game. So.
Yeah, definitely like the shortest out of all these that we played.
Yeah, there's also like a system. The training had like a system where your Chocobo's HP would go down if you train them too hard, and then you have to let them rest for like a month or something.
Yeah, you could train in like different terrain and in different lengths and stuff like that.
They could also get like leg injuries or something that would put them out for like a couple months.
Then you have to put them down.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So it's interesting. There's a lot of depth to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. Where are we ranking it on most enjoyable? Probably low, I guess.
Yeah.
But I liked it, but I don't know. Did you like it?
If it was in English, it probably would have been more fun.
Yeah.
That's true. So let's put it above the Legend games.
I feel like it should be in between some Legend games.
Ooh, interesting.
Like maybe in between 2 and 3. Is 3 the highest?
3's the highest, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it shouldn't go past 3. Because 3 was pretty fun with its like the floating ice cream cone and all the different like time changing.
Yeah, you're like traveling through time and stuff. Yeah, the weird pitcher that's like pouring water onto the world.
Like I think that
these are words.
I know, right? Like
they make sense. Don't worry about
Okay,
it.
this is a real game. But I think I would definitely play that more than I would want to play this.
I don't know. I think you liked it.
I liked it.
You did like it.
What if we put it above the Legend games? Well, okay. Huh. Yeah. What if we did that? Huh?
And so above the third one and below Mystic Quest.
Dice to Chocobo?
Oh yeah, Dice to Chocobo is next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Okay, cool. So
I'll allow it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's better than Dice to Chocobo.
No.
So we're gonna put Chocobo Stallion at our new number 18 out of 21 most enjoyable Final Fantasy media. That's it.
Oh yeah.
Hooray! Good job.
Good
You
job.
got it.
Way to compromise.
But now most Final Fantasy. How Final Fantasy is this game?
I feel
0?
like this one might have to be the bottom. like even it does have chocobos and like
and you could also get like Mog as the trainer.
Yeah.
He has a little
shit.
cowboy hat on.
That's Final
He does
Fantasy.
have a
That's
cowboy
Final
hat on.
Fantasy.
But like
Mog in a cowboy hat?
I feel like the what is it like?
So the lowest one we have is Final Fantasy Legend 2,
Yeah.
which
I honestly
that was the one that had
tell
like
you
the
anything about
city with like the cars that were driving around, I think, and then there was like
City with the cars.
there was like one city you go into where there's a person smuggling bananas
that. Yes, I
into
remember
the
that.
city. And like I think in the original Japanese it was like supposed to be drugs, but when they brought it to America,
was-
they were
yeah.
like bananas.
That's bananas. Yeah.
That's bananas.
But I even feel like just the vibe of those games like itself is more like leaning to like Final Fantasy, like the values
Yeah.
I guess of like what the story is and like what is going on like
This one literally is they
just-
reskinned Derby
Yeah.
Stallion with Chocobos.
like that is it. Like there's no
That's the
Final
whole
Fantasy.
thing.
There's no aura about it that's Final Fantasy.
I don't even know if there's crystals in this
I
dang
feel like
game.
the only
No
original
crystals.
No crystals.
I feel like the only original thing they made for this game was the beginning cutscene.
Yes.
Like they probably just used the textures they already had to put over Derby Stallion.
So I think I agree. I think we'll say that Chocobo Stallion is the new number 21
Oh yeah.
most Final Fantasy thing. That's crazy.
Youch.
We have finally something has usurped Final Fantasy Legend 2
Yeah.
as the least Final Fantasy thing we've encountered so far.
But isn't there a Final Fantasy game that just has this?
Yeah, but it's like
so if you're taking a slice out of that, I mean,
it's
Final Fantasy.
that's true, but it's
I don't
such
know.
a small part
Yeah.
of Final Fantasy 7 though.
It's like you
But
could
it's got
take
chocobos.
it's like you
Yeah.
could completely take that out of Final Fantasy 7 and
And
I
it
think
wouldn't
it
be
would
any
be the
different.
same.
No,
Yeah.
well, what's the point of playing it then?
Exactly. You
Yeah.
might as well just be racing. Might as well just go to the gold saucer and race those chocobos.
You're right.
But I think we're putting it at 21.
Yeah.
20 blackjack. You know, that's a blackjack.
Yes.
Hit me.
Well, you're at 21 already. You
Oh,
gotta
shit.
stop.
Hit me.
So that's the Chocobo Collection.
Oh,
What do we
yes.
think? I thought it was an interesting collection of
Yeah.
games.
I thought it was nice.
Yes.
Yes.
I thought they were fun. They were fun little different thing to do.
Yeah. It was a nice break in between the big games.
Yes. But so we've ranked it all, and now we go forth into
Don't you go like 8th?
We go
ninth.
9th. Go 9th.
We go 9th into the next mainline Final Fantasy
Yep.
game, Final Fantasy 9.
So excited.
I'm very excited. I think this is one of the ones I know. Well, okay. We say it almost every time, I think. So it's probably getting annoying to the listener.
Yeah.
I love it. Let me hear it.
We never played this one.
I don't know anything about this one. I barely know anything about it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them I don't really know anything about. I don't really know anything about 11. I don't really know anything about 13, any of the 13 games.
It's
Yeah,
anticipated.
I feel like anything past like 11. I know a little bit about 12,
Yeah,
but
I played like half of 12.
like anything past 11 and like 13, I don't know anything.
Yeah, and then I know a lot about 15 because I remember I was following that when it like came out.
Mhm.
And I know a lot about 14 because people talk about it all the time. But yeah, so again, I feel like we say it a lot. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy 9. I'm excited to learn about it.
Yeah, everything like anyone says about it is always like it's really good.
Yes. Well,
So-
okay. What I do know, Vivi's there from
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yep.
That's about it, I think.
Yeah.
That's all my knowledge.
I just know like what the characters look like from seeing videos of it.
But I'm excited to get, after doing this Chunk of Chocobo game, Chunk of Chocobo,
Chunk of Chocobo.
I'm excited to get back to a mainline Final Fantasy game.
Mhm.
And it's wild to me that we're this is the 22nd game on the list, or 22nd thing on the list, and it's the 9th numbered Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
And there's like 120 things on our master list.
Mhm.
So there will come a time where there's just a big stretch of random stuff in between each mainline game.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest like space of games we've had is like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, but
or
there's
5 things.
gonna come a time when there's like 12 things in between each main game.
Like we'll be playing like 3 different Kingdom Hearts games in between the mainline Final Fantasy
and
games.
Like some random mobile game.
Yeah.
And then, like a radio drama or
Yeah.
something.
I'm excited for a lot of the books and stuff.
Yeah. So that's it for this episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Adela.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great time.
Woo.
Woo. That's the Chocobo Collection, and that's I almost said Final Fantasy, but our show is Infinite Fantasy, not
And that's Final Fantasy.
And that's Final Fantasy. And you can take that to the bank.
You take it to the bank.
Do we ever find a sign off for the show?
I don't
ever?
think so.
Hey,
Choco.
keep it Choco. Is that what you said?
Keep it.
Chunka Choco.
Chunka Chocobo.
Choco.
Chunka Chocobo. Chunka
Don't forget to Chunka Chocobo.
Keep it chunky.
Keep it choky.
Keep it choky. Goodbye, everybody.
So bad.